Hello, beautiful people. It's Monday, and I'm Tamara Zoner, here to remind you how much you matter. Let's talk about beliefs, paradigms, and who we are today. A lot of us get stuck in patterns, and it's no wonder, right? I've talked to you about neural pathways before. It's any repeated behavior, basically creating a groove in our brains that makes it really easy to go down that path over and over and over and over. Well, we do this with our beliefs about ourselves and about others. And how many of you have ever visited family and thought to yourselves, well, they're still treating me like I'm that 15-year-old kid that I was all those years ago, or that 20-year-old, or maybe that 25-year-old, but not treating me like the person I am today. We tend to see people as we knew them, and we tend to see ourselves as we knew us. But past behavior does not predict, it does predict, but it doesn't determine our present choices and behavior or our future choices and behavior. We can do something new. So just because you've always done it that way in the past doesn't mean that you have to always do it that way in the future. Who are you today? Who do you want to be tomorrow? How do you want to show up in your life that's different from how you've shown up before? Because it's possible. And not until we start looking at our patterns of behavior and deciding consciously to create new patterns of behavior, of thoughts. Are you open to deciding that you are not who you were, but that you can be who you are and how you want to be and who you want to be? Who are you? And who do you want to be? We have to ask ourselves these questions first before we can make the shift, right? You can have whatever you want in life, and only to the extent that you are clear. Clarity is power. So who do you want to be and how do you want to show up in the world? If I use my past behavior and experience as the determining factor for my future, especially in relationships, well, then I would say that I will, I could say, right, because people say this all the time, well, I let myself get walked all over. I never have good boundaries, and I always put other people first. That doesn't feel very good. I don't want to do that or be that anymore. And so I first have to become conscious of that, right? I first became conscious of that while still married, realizing that I had totally given away my voice and I wanted it back. And I have repeated that behavior to a lesser extent in more recent relationships. But I am not going to say I will always do that. Hell no. I'm choosing to look at my past behavior and use it to determine how I want to show up in the future. And then I strengthen those muscles. I strengthen those neural pathways by practicing. Be willing to loosen your grip on the past so that you can create the future that you desire. Why? Because you matter, and the life that you want to experience matters. If we are letting fear and grief and the lens of the past run our current and future experiences, it's not truly living, because what they're for is to teach us, to grow us into being more of who we truly are. But we have to let go consciously of our programming, of our habits, and create new programming and create new habits of thoughts and behavior. And in case you weren't aware, the traditional wisdom of the 21 days makes a habit is not accurate. It takes around 70 days to make a new behavior into a fully formed habit. And even that is fresh, right? Give it 6 months. Give it 6 months. So, who are you going to show up as? Maybe make a list for yourself of your past behavior, past beliefs, past thoughts, and decide today, and write it down. I decide. I am a person with clear boundaries that I uphold because I love myself. You don't have to add that last part, but I think you might want to. Or I decide I am a person who responds instead of reacts. I decide that I have an elongated pause button. I decide that I use my fear as fuel instead of a barrier. What do you decide today? What will you decide today? Who do you want to be, and how do you want to show up? That's one of the tricks of meditation, right? The question that you ask in meditation is, who am I? And then you open up to that. So today, because you matter so much, would you ask yourself these questions? And would you make some new decisions for yourself about who you are and how you show up? Because you deserve to live a fulfilling, beautiful, joyful, experiential life, experiencing all of it. Be open to all of it. I love you. I'm grateful that you're here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember how much you matter. I'm Tamara Zoner, and I'll see you again very soon.